if you guys are wanting to take your gameplay to the next level, myshman.com, ebooks, coaching, exclusive ebooks to members, and exclusive live streams to members as well. Be sure to check it out. Link down below in the description. Enjoy the rest of this video. What is up, YouTube? It's T-Meister bringing you guys a Madden 19 next part of the Bucs mini scheme. We're gonna really briefly go over corner strike, kind of make a one-play touchdown out of this against cover 3. It's not as good as it was last year. It's very similar to just the curl flat. So we're gonna be very, very brief on this. So corner strike, I'm not gonna bother covering all types of coverages. I'll give you very quickly how you can attack cover 2, cover 4, cover 3, etc. So the cover 3, the way that you can potentially, I'm not going to say will, but potentially can get a one-play touchdown is if you streak RB and then if you motion out the corner out. Now what this is going to do oftentimes, as you can see right there, it kind of develops. It's not as good as last year, but if you can get a fast enough wide receiver to get over the top, then you're going to be able to get past that outside third and go for it. Now if you fade him instead, it's going to change up how this play is ran. So if you fade, we now have that corner out getting significantly more open against the outside third simply because you fade. So that's how I would attack a cover 3. Cover 4 is the same. Cover 2, I would just streak it, and that's going to pull out a deep half up. And then, again, it's just a high-low read. So that's corner strike. It's very, very easy. It's a very basic play as well. You can leave that spot route also if they're running into cover 2 to use it as just a little check down. The play I really wanted to get in today is clear out SE out. Probably my favorite play. Now, one thing that is extremely crucial about this play is if you can have a really fast tight end. Now, Hooper isn't by no stretch of the imagination fast whatsoever, so you're gonna have to kind of keep that in mind as we're running it in practice mode. You can do two things. You can run the stock, or what you can do is you could put Sanu Senior on a hitch. If you leave it stock, two things could happen. This all just depends on how the defense reacts. He could either play a little hitch route or he could play an out route. Now again, this just all depends on the defense. So if you want consistent hitch route, you can just manually put him on a hitch. You could leave that fade. You could even, what you do if you guys are in mutt, on the other hand, you can motion him over. If you put him in a corner out, now this is mutt exclusive. If you put him in a corner out, then motion him over, he then changes into a post route, so you could have dual posts. So here's what I would do. I would just drag B if I'm playing a game of regs. RB, the only reason we have it, and this is probably the best way to use it, is you have bunch on the same side as the user, so then they have to respect that hitch and they have to respect the drag as well as the post. So there's just a lot of different things that they have to be aware of. So this is potentially a way I'd run it. We're probably going to get shedded to death right here, but you can see A wide open. You can stiff arm, try to make your way in, or you can get your drag, or you can get your little baby hitch. So we're going to run this one more time. You can see you got your drag, the spin up field, gain 5 yards. You got your hitch immediately. It's a very basic play, but a very effective one as well. So, wow, that was crazy. They just got, all three of them just got stuck together. That doesn't happen very often. So here's one thing you guys can do if you're running into this kind of problem. Again, this is why a fast tight end is necessary. Somebody that can get downfield quick enough before the drag runs into them. This is just practice mode being practice mode. You can motion snap this guy out, which allows the tight end to get cleared out some more, and then also you can see that opens up the hitch a little bit more. So if you guys are running into that problem where the tight end and the two wide receivers, the whole bunch literally is getting stuck on each other, then you could just do a simple motion out with the drag, and that'll just help clear out the space. So that's really why it's so important to have a tight end that's more of a receiving tight end, not a blocking tight end. Simply because he gets a better release, more speed, it allows him to get past, etc., etc. So this is against cover 3. Cover 2, I mean, the setup is going to be the exact same against cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, cover 0. Very, very basic. So cover 2, this post route can potentially split it. Now, what I mean by potentially is depending on how good their safeties are. If their safeties are 99, it's dang near impossible to split it. So just keep that in mind. If they have 99 speed, 99 zone, it's just the game. Good luck splitting that. So again, the setup very easy. Hitch RB, drag B, and to hitch is Y RB right trigger, drag Y B down on the right stick, and that's how you set it up. Now again, if you guys are running into the whole bunch getting stuck on each other and it's just a cluster, you can always motion out this drag, snap it, and you can see it plays it a lot better. Now That's incredible. That linebacker almost jumped that. But if you're worried about that, you can always fit that in as a low ball. Most times, I'd say about 7 times out of 10, you can fit that as a low ball. The other 3 times, it's either going to be swatted down or it's going to be picked off. So you just got to be aware of how the defense plays. So if the shade underneath, that vertical hook is going to play that hitch extremely aggressively. If they play over the top, it's going to back off, follow up post route just for a brief second, and then come down. So again, this is cover 2. We're going to be looking for splitting the safeties. You can see right there, we split it. Now, if this was MUT, it's not going to happen simply because the players are 20 times faster than a game of regs, but it is still just as effective. Now, if they do decide to man up this playmaker hitch, it'll still beat man coverage, especially in a game of regs. Wide receivers are going to cut quick enough and clean enough to be able to break off his man, but it's going to have to be thrown immediately. Otherwise, the man coverage is going to catch up to him. So just keep that in mind. It's just a very, very basic thing. Now, there's another thing you can do in MUT. If you wanted to kind of turn this into a high-low read and beat cover 3 over the top, you could put Julio Jones on a corner route. Now, when you put him on a corner route, it's going to be a C route. So just keep that in mind. So you could do that, and then you could put B on a deep crosser and get over the top with a cover 3 and sometimes a cover 4 quarters. Probably not at this point of the year because they've got fast enough man corners that can keep up with anybody in the game. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're playing MUT regs, it's a whole different ball game. So yeah, it's very, very different this year. So again, you can see hitch, the vertical hook. You notice he played up a little more aggressive this time. Drags. Let me tell you, this is the biggest tip I can give anybody. If you're a new player, listen in. Take your drags every single time. Eventually, either they're going to keep giving up the little 5-yard pass, 10-yard pass, 20-yard pass if you spin somebody out, give you up a touchdown. A drag is probably the most deadly route in the game, simply because it is a hard route to guard. Because cross-manning is not a good idea against it because it leaves you exposed over top unless you cross-man a linebacker, in which case it's a little more safe. But always, always, always take your checkdowns. If they leave the hitch open, you take it. If they leave the drag open, you take it. You don't wait for the post route to get open. If somebody's open, you throw it to them. It's very, very simple. One last thing. If they decide to do a baseline press, which I don't have the controller to do so right now, but if they were to baseline press, you can motion in Julio Jones and put him on a fade. Now, they're not going to be lined up whatsoever, and that's going to allow Julio Jones to get completely past his man, a free release, and if he has fast speed, quick acceleration, he's going to be gone downfield quickly, especially if they play hard flats. That is a touchdown that they've just given up. So that's just one thing that you guys can do if they decide to do a baseline press. If they're baseline pressing all the time, you can expose it over the top and get a free release. Very simple play. We'll move on to cover 4. So you can see right there, they got bumps. But if you're worried, that's a terrible, I hate that. It's so dumb. If you're worried about them picking it off, you can fit a low ball in there. But as you can see, low balls this year suck. High balls are the way to go, simply because low ball often gets thrown behind, or 9 times out of 10. It's dumb. You don't even get a reaction from the receiver or tight end in this instance. So just keep that in mind. You can try to fit a high ball in there. If they have a tall user like Anthony Barr, well, GG's, it's going to be pretty dang difficult to work. But you can see right there, able to fit a high ball dot in behind the linebacker. So now with a cover 4, it can be pretty unique. Cover 4 quarters is going to be fairly difficult to expose with the tight end. So if they're playing cover 4 quarters, I suggest you don't run this play. You get into the other plays within this mini scheme and use those instead. So cover 4 quarters is going to be unique. We're going to set it up the same way, but the catch here is Hooper's going to be boxed, like completely and utterly boxed. Now this I would not recommend using against any kind of cover 4 quarters. As you can see, just ran stock. It shut down the play. Now if they're in it, even palms, it's going to shut it down pretty well. If they're running a drop kind of cover 4, then you can fit it a lot easier. So cover 4 palms, cover 4 quarters, I'm going to warn you guys right now, you don't use it against those plays. But in a cover 4 such as a cover 4 drop show 2, everybody knows that out of 3-4 odd or nickel 3-3-5, they have a cover 4 drop, then it is a very effective play. So same exact setup, motion this guy out, look for the open receiver. Now, in a cover 4, the best way to attack a cover 4 is just really create a high-low read. As you can see right there, Hooper is able to get open over the top of the linebackers, but also underneath the inside quarter. So it's a very easy play as always. So we'll motion out Calvin Ridley. You can see Calvin Ridley is open. You can spin upfield to get you 5 yards. Hopefully you don't take a hit stick with the new patch. If you spin into the defender, you're going to fumble. Even if you spin away from the defender, you fumble. Makes no sense. But against a drop show 2, it's very easy. Cover 4 quarters, cover 4 palms, boxed. You don't have to do any adjustments. But you can see right there, that time, I think that's a 3-X hook maybe, or hook curl or something similar to that. Played the post route very well. So in that instance, what you would do, you would take your drags. If they shade underneath, we get shaded, but if they shade underneath, you can see the post route and the drag route open. You'll take the post. If they shade over the top, you'll take the drag. If they don't do any sort of shading, then one of the two are going to be open, and it's just a matter of reading how the computer is guarding it. So I'll run this one last time, and that's pretty much going to wrap up this video with clear out, SE out. This is my favorite of all plays that I have put out for you guys. This is my favorite. This is my go-to play, and this is something that is only unique to the Bucs playbook. It's not in the Patriots. I don't think it's any other bunch as well. So just keep that in mind if you guys are running regs. But if you guys are running regs and you want to include this in your custom playbook, then you can do so. Otherwise, guys, Bucs playbook only, as far as I know. You might have to correct me. I may be wrong about that. I probably am. But this is just my favorite, absolute favorite play. But we're just going to get shedded to no end right here. But you can see the post route's open. You can see the drag route is open. Those are going to be your 2 primary reads. And depending on what they do with this little hitch, if they shade over the top, the hitch is going to be open. If they shade underneath, the hard plat's going to play to the outside. It's not going to jump that. So you should be able to get it open, especially, again, if the user is on the same side as bunch. That's the only reason we have that hitch route is if the user chases the drag or chases a post route, we then have the hitch route. One last thing. If you mix this in with corner strike or curl flat, if you mix this in with curl flat and corner strike, then this play is going to be really deadly because they're expecting a corner out. All of a sudden, there's a post route from the tight end. There's no longer a corner out from wide receiver. They just all of a sudden decided to double flat that one side of the field. You could potentially catch them slipping by putting number 18 or Sanu Senior on a fade route. So just keep that in mind. Work this in with curl flat, corner strike, and Bucs verts, and this play is going to be very deadly. So that's going to take care of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure you drop a like on it. And as always, this has been T Meister. See ya.